Stop trying to control everything and just let go.
You're in my mind.
Let go!
I am insane. And you are my insanity.
Stop trying to control everything.
You fantasized about me.
And just let go.
First, I would like to thank all of those who have supported my channel. I would also like to thank you for watching this analysis of Director Darren Aronofsky's 2010 psychological horror film, Black Swan. Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake is about a virgin girl named Odette who is trapped in a swan's body from which only true love can free her. An evil sorcerer named Rothbart deceives the White Swan's true love, Prince Siegfried, into falling in love with his daughter Odile, whom he transforms to look exactly like Odette. At this point of the film, the White Swan is Nina, and the true love that can free her is the price that she is willing to pay to become the Swan Queen, a role that she is not yet prepared to die for, let alone fight for. Thomas Leroy is the director of the New York City Ballet Company, and he is trying to cast the Swan Queen for his updated version of Swan Lake. Nina steals the lipstick of the outgoing Swan Queen and dolls up her face in order to seduce Leroy into giving her the part. The most important and difficult part of the play is the coda or transformation sequence, in which the White Swan becomes the Black Swan while spinning 32 consecutive times on one toe. Nina has mastered the fouette. However, Leroy tells her that he has already selected Veronica to be the Swan Queen, and instantly Nina accepts his decision and her defeat and walks away from her lifelong dream of being Swan Queen just like that, without even putting up a fight. Prior to this, she was also passive when he asked her if she wanted to be his Swan Queen, and she told him that she wanted to be what he wanted her to be.
Stop being so fucking weak! Again!
Leroy surprises the dance troupe in selecting Nina to be the new Swan Queen, especially when he had told her earlier that she was too frigid to play the Black Swan, and that he had already selected Veronica to be the Swan Queen. To celebrate Nina's accomplishment, Erica, Nina's mother, bakes a strawberry cake with vanilla icing and cuts off a huge slice for Nina, who does not want any of the cake but eats some anyway to keep Erica from getting offended and throwing away the whole cake. In this scene, we see Nina fighting against her real feelings or her Black Swan doppelganger by giving in to Erica's feelings and eating the cake anyway, something that her mother knows is too fattening and that Nina should not be eating, since Leroy has made her the star of Swan Lake. Again, as she had walked away from her lifelong dream of being the Swan Queen after Leroy told her he had given the role to Veronica, Nina proves here that she is passive enough to be the White Swan, but that she is not assertive nor honest enough with herself or others to be the Black Swan. Lily is the new dancer in Leroy's ballet and the complete opposite of Nina, who strives for perfection. Lily is not a virgin, and the way that she dances reflects her sexiness in an impromptu dance session with Veronica in the rehearsal studio. In this scene, Nina watches Lily jealously because Lily, according to Leroy, is the perfect Black Swan in that she is imprecise, sexy, and loose, unlike Nina, whom he describes as frigid and tight. Again, we come to the essence of the Swan Queen, which is first, let's look at Lily. No, she is not the perfect ballerina. However, she is, as far as Leroy is concerned, the perfect Black Swan because she is uninhibited, opportunistic, wild, ambitious, and indifferent to what people think about her. Also, unlike Nina, who kicks herself for the tiniest mistakes, Lily accepts her mistakes and even laughs at them, which makes her come across as honest, human, and realistic. Unlike Nina, whose obsession with being perfect makes her come across as dishonest, such as the false sympathy she has for Beth Macintyre, the outgoing Swan Queen, while at the same time she is trying to replace the woman as the new Swan Queen. But the source of Nina's need to be perfect and her dishonesty is revealed in the scene in which she turns down a big slice of strawberry cake her mother baked to celebrate Leroy's decision to make her Swan Queen. Erica becomes was so upset that she would have thrown away the whole cake if Nina had not stopped her by eating a slice of the cake anyway. Both Nina's obsession with perfection and the source of her dishonesty comes from her fear of rejection. But just as all things that are fake on the outside, it is always a matter of time before the truth beneath the surface comes to light. As Leroy explains early in the film, Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake is about a virgin girl trapped by a sorcerer's curse in a swan's body from which only true love can free her. So far in the film, Nina is the perfect white swan and Lily is the perfect black swan. True love, or the sum of this equation, is the Swan Queen. Therefore, in order to be Leroy's Swan Queen, as I have also pointed out earlier, Nina, the white swan, has to stop thinking and submit to the same dark impulse that comes out in the form of self-preservation when she bites Leroy to make him let go of her in an earlier scene. The same dark impulses such as anger, aggression, and lust that makes Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire an abusive husband are also the same impulses that gets him promoted to Master Sergeant in the Army and gets him promoted at his factory job. But unlike Stanley, who thrives on his impulses, Nina only expresses her true nature when she is provoked to do so.
Stop trying to control everything.
Leroy and Nina attend a fundraiser in which Leroy officially announces Beth's retirement and Nina as the troupe's new Swan Queen in the new season of Swan Lake. Afterwards, Leroy and Nina make their rounds, bowing, smiling, and kissing up to those from whom they hope to receive financial support for the theater. But Nina resents doing this with Leroy and goes to the bathroom, takes a hold of a hangnail, and peels a long strip of skin off of her finger. As she is doing this, Lily is banging on the door to get in and pee, and when Nina lets her in, Lily takes off her panties. Now, what do both of these two seemingly unrelated actions have to do with Nina biting Leroy's lip early in the film? First, I've already pointed out the fact that Nina suppresses her true nature out of her need to be perceived by others as perfect, like the scene in which she eats the big slice of strawberry cake to keep from hurting Erica's feelings, and also like the scene in which she makes up her face with Beth's lipstick in order to seduce Leroy into casting her as Swan Queen. But after he tells her no, she gets cold feet and walks away. Then there's Nina's double, who always pops up when Nina becomes upset with feelings like fear, anger, jealousy, or anxiety, and who appears when Leroy ignores Nina at the first rehearsal. There's also the rash that appears on Nina's back after Leroy makes her the new Swan Queen. Now, let's take the hangnail that she pulls off at the fundraiser. When does she do this? She does this after stooping with Leroy to get financial support for the ballet, something that she only does to make Leroy happy. Peeling the strip of skin off of her finger is her resentment. Lily beating on the bathroom door to get in is also symbolic of Nina's resentment. When she opens the door for Lily to come in the bathroom, Lily takes off her panties as a gesture of defiance and rebellion that Nina, because of her need to appear perfect to others, cannot express. And now let's once again go back and look at the scene in which Leroy provokes Nina to bite him on the mouth. Remember, Leroy wants Nina to let herself go when she turns into the Black Swan in the coda. In other words, he does not want her to control the Black Swan as she controls the White Swan. Now add to this the fact that Erica controls everything that Nina does. What she eats, the friends she sees, what time she goes to bed, everything. Also add to this the fact that Nina intended to seduce Leroy into making her the Swan Queen, but did not follow through with her plan when he told her he had already chosen Veronica to be the Swan Queen. Now it should be obvious that Leroy provoked Nina to bite him on his mouth to draw something out of her that she could not control, as she controls the Swan Queen. And also, Leroy provoked Nina to bite his lip to draw something out of her that her mother also cannot control. Up to this point in the film, Nina has been able to contain her dark side, but as we will see, this will become more and more difficult for her to do.
Go home and touch yourself.
Later at the fundraiser, Beth, with cocktail in hand and tears and mascara streaking her face, confronts Nina, wanting to know what she did to get Leroy to make her his new Swan Queen. And when Beth gets hit by a car afterwards, Leroy is not surprised. The same impulse that compels Beth to throw herself in front of a car is the same impulse that once made her a great dancer. Remember, Leroy told Nina at her first rehearsal that he wanted her to lose herself in order to become the Black Swan. He also told her that the Black Swan was all about surprising and transcending the audience and herself, a point he made by provoking her to bite him. And also remember that the appearance of either Lily or Nina's doppelganger is always an emotional reaction to something on Nina's part, as Beth being struck by a car is her emotional reaction towards Leroy replacing her with Nina as the new Swan Queen. Therefore, it should be clear by these parallels that the Black Swan is a metaphor for all of the dark emotional impulses that all of us have. Impulses that makes Beth, as Leroy points out, both thrilling to watch and yet destructive at the same time. It is principal rehearsal for Swan Lake, and Leroy oversees Nina and David rehearsing the Pas de Deux, which is a dance sequence involving a man and a woman. Nina still has trouble loosening up, and later Lily takes Nina out for drinks at a burger bar where they run into a couple of guys. Lily drops some ecstasy into Nina's drink to get her to loosen up, and after a wild night, Nina and Lily make love. Remember, Leroy told Nina that the key to being the Black Swan is losing control, and also remember that the appearance of either Lily or Nina's doppelganger always coincides with something upsetting Nina, such as when Leroy ignores her at the first rehearsal. The doppelganger also appears when Nina is unsure of whether or not Leroy will select her to audition for Swan Lake at the beginning of the film. It is Nina's discipline and desire to be perceived as perfect, or in short, her inhibitions, that enables her to contain her double, and it is the drug ecstasy that frees her double in this scene, a scene in which symbolically she loses her virginity. Flashback to an earlier scene in which Leroy invites Nina to his place to make sure he tells her that there are no boundaries between them. He asks her if she's a virgin, and when her indignation confirms his guess, he gives her a homework assignment to masturbate, which she does while taking a bath, and during her orgasm or her loss of self-control, she sees her double. Now let's bring it back to the present, where we see Lily adding ecstasy to Nina's drink, a drug that reduces Nina's need to be perfect, her self-control, and her concern about what other people such as her mother, Beth Macintyre, and other dancers think of her, and what she did to persuade Leroy to make her the Swan Queen. But most importantly, the ecstasy Lily adds to Nina's drink weakens the moral control she has over the Black Swan and her true nature. For instance, after taking the ecstasy, she has sex with a stranger in the men's restroom of the bar. She gets home late, and instead of lying and making excuses, she tells Erica that she had been out fucking two men, and after telling Erica this, Nina locks her bedroom door and makes love to Lily, who transforms into her doppelganger. After freeing her dark side and accepting herself fully, Nina realizes now that she must also put away childish things. Not only her toys and stuffed animals, but also all of the old behavioral patterns holding her back, such as being passive, her need to control everything, her inhibitions, her need to be perfect, and caring about what other people think of her. Let's start with her passiveness in regards to Leroy, such as the scene in which she entrusts him with her fate after he asks her if she wants to be his Swan Queen, or the scene in which Nina stops by Leroy's office to tell him that she can perform the fouette, or 32 spin single leg pirouette, which is the most important element of Swan Lake. She goes through a lot of trouble to make her case to Leroy by dolling up her face with the lipstick she had stolen from Beth, the old Swan Queen. However, when Leroy tells Nina that he has already selected Veronica to be a Swan Queen, Nina quickly walks away and would have given up on her dream altogether if Leroy would not have stopped her to ask why she would make herself look all pretty if she did not intend to seduce him for the part. And then there is the fundraiser in which she and Leroy stoop to the rich patrons who support the ballet company. Then there is Nina's passiveness in regards to her mother. Additionally, Erica deprives Nina of any privacy by forcing her to keep her bedroom door open, and Erica also clips Nina's fingernails, tells her when to go to bed, and chooses her friends. In addition to putting away her passive tendencies. Nina must also put away her habit of trying to control everything. Control works perfectly for the White Swan, but not for the Black Swan, whose power comes from being morally, emotionally, and sexually uninhibited, such as Lily. While she may not be the perfect dancer in regards to precision, her dancing is sexy and natural. And also, unlike Nina, Lily is not an ass kisser. For instance, at the fundraiser, while Nina and Leroy are kissing asses to get money for the ballet, Nina is flirting with rich men. And unlike Nina, who reveres Leroy as an artist, Lily thinks that Leroy is a jerk. Even in the bar scene, you can see the sharp contrast between Lily and Nina's personalities in the type of service that they get. Notice how the waiter places Lily's plate on the table and the way he just drops Lily's plate on the table. Like Tyler Durden in David Fincher's 1999 action drama Fight Club, Lily is the projection of Nina's ideal self, irreverent and unrestrained, free from norms and moral restrictions. Speaking of which, Nina must also put away her inhibitions. In addition to her inhibitions, Nina must put away her need to be perfect all of the time, such as her trying to control the Black Swan as she controls the White Swan. And finally, to become the Black Swan, Nina has to stop caring about what people like Beth, her mother, and other ballerinas think as far as whether she slept with Leroy to get him to make her the Swan Queen. Nina has a lot of toys to get rid of, and with the opening of Swan Lake approaching, she doesn't have much time to do it. Leroy makes Lily the alternate Swan Queen just in case. And to make matters worse, Nina's insecurity intensifies when she sees Lily and Leroy making love backstage. Remember, Swan Lake ends with the White Swan leaping off of a cliff and killing herself and losing her true love to the Black Swan. Also remember that after Nina and Lily make love, Lily turned into Nina's double. And also remember the scene at the fundraiser when Lily invited Nina to make love in the bathroom, which would have symbolically been an act of self-love, since Lily is also the Black Swan side of Nina and would have freed Nina from feeling obligated to walk around with Leroy at the fundraiser hustling for money. At that time, Nina declined Lily's offer to stay in the bathroom and make love, a scene that coincides with the homework assignment that Leroy gave Nina to masturbate, which she does. However, her first attempt to make love to herself is interrupted by Erica, who does not allow her to have any privacy. However, Nina's second attempt to make love to herself succeeds when she does so while taking a bath, a scene in which her double also appears. Again, let's recap. In Swan Lake, the White Swan kills herself. Lily and Nina make love. Leroy gives Nina a homework assignment to masturbate. And finally, Leroy and Lily make love backstage, a move calculated by Leroy to make Nina jealous and to get her to let go of her inhibitions and moral control over the Black Swan, who, unlike Nina's White Swan, is ruthless enough to fight Lily to be the Swan Queen. Nina comes around full circle. In the beginning, she wanted to be the Swan Queen so bad that she stole Beth's lipstick and earrings in order to be like her. Now, as a result of seeing Leroy and Lily backstage making love and being seized with jealousy and insecurity, Nina returns the lipstick and earrings to Beth, whom she can relate to now that Lily is trying to replace her as the Swan Queen. And just as Leroy had hoped, making Lily the alternate Black Swan and allowing Nina to see himself and Lily making love causes Nina to panic and throws her into another emotional state. The same impulse that causes her to bite Leroy earlier in the film, and the same impulse that causes Beth Macintyre to throw herself in front of a car. Remember, Nina could not play the Black Swan because she cared about what people thought about her, such as her fellow dancers, her mother, and Beth, who all thought that she had screwed Leroy to get him to make her the Swan Queen. Nina was also too passive to be the Black Swan, which is why she does the White Swan so well, unlike Lily, whose assertiveness and confidence makes her the perfect Black Swan. However, after taking the ecstasy that Lily puts into her drink, Nina's inhibitions disappear, and when she and Lily make love, the final barrier separating Nina from her alter ego disappears, and now she is ready to do anything to be the Swan Queen. Such is the scene in which she fights with her mother, who calls Leroy and tells him that Nina is too sick to be the Swan Queen in his play, and unlike an earlier scene in which she gives Leroy the power to make her the Swan Queen, Nina shows up minutes before the play's opening and blackmails Leroy into making her the Swan Queen, something that he is more than happy to do. In Tchaikovsky's ballet Swan Lake, the White Swan and the Black Swan are separate entities as Odette and Odile respectively, Odette being the virgin White Swan and Odile being the Black Swan and daughter of the evil sorcerer Rothbard. However, in Leroy's version of Swan Lake, which he describes as a visceral and stripped down version of the ballet, there is a queen that embodies both swans. But the real question is why Leroy would select Nina to be the Swan Queen in the first place, when he admits to the fact that Nina is only good at being the White Swan. He even admits himself that Lily is the ideal Black Swan. Why not just use her instead of Nina? Here's why. Because Nina, like the White Swan in Tchaikovsky's ballet, is a virgin, unlike Lily, who is not a virgin and can no more play the White Swan than someone regaining his or her virginity after losing it. In Tchaikovsky's ballet, the White Swan is caught in a tug-of-war between Siegfried and Rothbard. In this film, Nina is caught in a tug-of-war between the ideal version of herself and her true nature, the Black Swan, a moral contradiction in that she feels sorry for the outgoing Swan Queen Beth Macintyre, and yet she steals the woman's lipstick and earrings to doll herself up to seduce Leroy into making her the Swan Queen. In the ballet, Siegfried is deceived into falling in love with Odile after mistaking her for Odette, an important clue to understanding Nina and Lily's rivalry throughout the film and their relationship, from Lily getting Nina to take ecstasy the night before the opening of the ballet to Lily flirting with David during he and Lily's performance. When Nina loses her concentration and David drops her, the only thing that seems to be standing in Nina's way of being Leroy's Swan Queen is Lily. But also remember that Lily is also Nina's doppelganger throughout the film. Rothbard pulls Nina away from Siegfried, and Nina returns to her dressing room only to find Lily there, who is ready to go out and finish the play as the Black Swan. They fight, and Nina stabs Lily in the midsection with a piece of broken glass. Nina goes back out to perform the 32-spin single-leg fouette that transforms her into Odile, the Black Swan. Now remember, Swan Lake ends with Siegfried marrying Odile, the Black Swan, after mistaking her for Odette, the White Swan. When Nina sees the red blood stain spreading across her midsection, she realizes that it was not Lily who stood in her way of being the Swan Queen. It was her own insecurities, lack of confidence, unwillingness to get down and dirty, moral scruples, and her fears of not being perfect or accepted. All of the inhibitions that made her the ideal White Swan prevented her from being the Black Swan, and in death, unlike life, Nina finally achieves perfection. A screenplay by Andres Hines called The Understudy inspired Darren Aronofsky to make Black Swan, which he said reminded him of Joseph L. Mankiewicz's 1951 film All About Eve, Roman Polanski's 1976 film The Tenant, and Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky's 1846 novella The Double. However, some claim that Aronofsky's real inspiration for Black Swan came from late anime director Satoshi Kon's 1997 psychological thriller Perfect Blue that shares similar themes with Black Swan, such as the Jekyll and Hyde doppelganger of the main character and the bathtub scene, a scene Aronofsky also uses in his 2000 film Requiem for a Dream, which is virtually identical to the anime. Reportedly, Aronofsky met Satoshi Kon in 2001 and bought the rights to Perfect Blue to head off any future lawsuits from the anime's similarities to Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan, even though Aronofsky denied using Perfect Blue for either of his films. But the film that Black Swan is most comparable with is Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger's 1948 masterpiece, The Red Shoes, in which a ballerina named Victoria Page dances herself to death. Another film comparable with Black Swan is David Fincher's 1999 action thriller, Fight Club, whose main character, like Nina, creates an imaginary person with all of the qualities he wishes he had. And lastly, I find Black Swan to also be comparable with Michael Powell's 1960 psychological thriller, Peeping Tom, whose main character is a shy photographer who gets his kicks off killing women and simultaneously recording their real emotional responses as opposed to the fake emotional responses of an actress on a film set within the film itself. In Black Swan, the comparison of real and fake takes the form of Nina's White Swan against Lily's Black Swan. And speaking of acting, Black Swan is perfectly cast with Natalie Portman as Nina, the glacial and passive White Swan. Then there is Barbara Hershey as Erica, Nina's jealous and controlling mother. Then there is Vincent Cassel as Thomas Leroy, the demanding and obsessive theater director. Then there is Mila Kunis as Lily, the sexy and uninhibited Black Swan. And finally, there is Winona Ryder as Beth, the dying Swan Queen. Aronofsky and cinematographer Matthew Libatique shot the film in a muted, grainy style to make the film look like a documentary, also using Super 16 handheld cameras to avoid the polished look they would have gotten by using Steadicams. Black Swan's dominant motif is black and white, the extremes of which describes Nina and Lily, the white and black swans, and also the tug of war for Nina between Leroy, who wants her to be the Swan Queen, and Nina's mother, who wants her to remain a little girl that she can control. On September 1st, 2010, Black Swan opened at the 67th Venice Film Festival to a standing ovation. As with Aronofsky's previous films, Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, and The Fountain, Black Swan polarized critics such as Roger Ebert, my favorite film critic, who gave the film 3.5 stars and hailed it as a full-bore melodrama told with passionate intensity, to Philip French of The Guardian, who called Black Swan slick and pretentious, in which the polished surface is a distorting mirror. Like director Alejandro Inarritu Gonzalez, Darren Aronofsky is a master at making films that sound and look more expensive than they are. Despite its all-star cast and its top-notch music, cinematography, sets, special effects, editing, and costumes, Black Swan made $330 million at a cost of only $13 million. Darren Aronofsky has not lost his art house edge after receiving critical success. I cannot say whether or not he is fearless, but I can say that he does not seem to care about making films with mass appeal. And watching Black Swan, you know that you are watching a film from a director with a unique vision and a lot of heart. Thanks for watching this video essay and analysis of director Darren Aronofsky's 2010 psychological horror thriller, Black Swan, starring Natalie Portman. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you would leave a thumbs up, a comment, but most importantly, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel and this playlist for more quality video essays such as this one. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.